Welcome to the Dark Nook Monster Shop. I spent a few bucks on Amazon and got some new sculpting tools. But these aren't your regular sculpting tools. These are for sculpting in wax. So they're steel, and they're made to be heated over a little flame. Now, even though I'm not using them for wax, some of the tips on some of these tools are great for polymer clay. But the problem is, you can only ever find them in a wax tool set, which means buying a whole set of tools when you really only want 2 or 3 of the tools that are in the whole set. But when the whole set only costs 15 bucks, $1.50 per tool, that's not so bad. And hey, it's got this snazzy case too. But now, I need some polyclay to use these tools on. So I also picked up a cheap little box of polymer clay. It came in this cute little bin, and you know I'm a sucker for a carrying case. It's your standard cheap Chinese box of little 1-ounce bricks, some janky jewelry hardware bits, and a few plastic tools. The tools that come with these things are really hit or miss. Mostly they're useless, but every now and then you'll find some that are actually kind of useful. Sometimes they're made for just one specific pattern or shape. These look like they might be made for making flowers, leaves or petals, that sort of thing. Now this thing comes with a ton of cheap Chinese polymer clay in every color in little 1-ounce bricks, so I pick a few out to test. At this point, I'm not sure what I'm going to make, but I start out by making a little armature out of garden wire and then wrapping that in aluminum foil. And while I smush this foil, maybe you can smush that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. Now this first block of blue polymer clay was a little bit crumbly, needed a little bit of hand conditioning, but I didn't need to use the roller or anything like that. I covered the foil with a thin layer of clay. I also used this little cutout circle of paper to make sure that my sculpt will fit in the display case that I'm going to use for it later. I build up the body and add wrinkles, and at this point I'm actually thinking about making some kind of snake man. But at the last second I thought, nah, wait a minute, what if I did like a caterpillar man? I thought, wait, maybe Mothman in a larval form, right? Because at some point Mothman had to be Caterpillar Man, right? Or would he be Caterpillar Boy? I don't know. But that's what I'm making, Caterpillar Man. Now as soon as I decided to make Caterpillar Man, I decided to make those weird spiky legs that some caterpillars have. So I just poked dents into the arms and in the body where the spiky leg, arm, or arm legs things will go. And then I'll make those separately and bake them, and then stick them into the sculpture. Next I use texture stamps to kind of shape and texture some of the body. I poke dents for the big bug eyes that I'll add later. Then, using one of the new wax sculpting tools, I add more lines and some wrinkles and details to the body. I use one of those wax tools with the little spoon tip to carve out the mouth, or the big hole that I'll add the big pincer mouth parts to later. I'm going to give this guy some big old mandibles. And I also roll out the clay that I'll use to make the big bug eyes. Then I opened up the second packet of clay, and this one was really soft and gooey, which isn't a good sign. It stuck to my fingers, which isn't a good sign, though this clay should still work fine. If you've got a brick like this that's gooey and you want it to firm up, just let it sit out exposed to the air for a few days and it'll be fine. But this clay is actually useful for a couple of specific applications. And it cleans right off your hands with a little 99% isopropyl alcohol and a paper towel. The third brick was perfect, just the right firmness, and with minimal smushing and rolling, I made the mandibles and the spiky legs and arms. Then, once I was happy with those, I set them aside to bake in a minute. Then I moved on to the base. I decided to use that very soft sticky clay to make the base because it'll stick so well to a little piece of cardboard. I just smushed some of that very soft clay down with a texture stamp to make a sort of barren landscape texture. I'll put a crack in it and have one flower growing out of that crack. And I baked this all at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. And everything baked up great, even the soft stuff. So I smushed the big bug eyes into the head, then I smushed the mandibles into the mouth and shaped the clay around them. Next, I smushed the spiky clay arm tips into the arms and smoothed the edges down a bit, before adding the spiky leg bits to the body. Then I position them where I want them, and when I'm happy with that, I build up around the mandibles and mouth with more of that really soft clay. Softer clays are also good to add on detail or to use as filler, like putty. And if this stuff was any softer, it would be Bacon Bond. And after that, I repeat the process with the eyes. I build up around them, smooth the clay down, and then add texture. I do the same thing to the body and the spiky legs. Build up, smooth the clay down, and then texture it. Then I add some final texture to the body and smooth it all down with 99% alcohol. And it's back into the oven for another 15 minutes at 275 degrees. And then it's time for paint. First, a base of black for the base and a base of white for the worm. Then, lighter and lighter gray dry brushes on the base. Then I use little bits of foam clay that I had sitting around to make the flower and the stem. I paint it green and brown, and then I glue a bit of wire to it. Then I put a crack in the base, which was actually harder than I expected. This stuff was pretty strong and it didn't break easy. And I paint it black. Next, I glue the flower down so it looks like it's growing out of the crack. And then I add some bloody red drips to make it look like it's bleeding while it's being eaten, because hey, why not? After that, I start painting the worm. I paint his front bright, day-glow neon yellow and add some blood red to his mouth. Next, it's bright green on the back. And once that's dry, onto some metallic yellow to create a basic shape of the blotchy stripe up the side. Then, I wet blend over that with some regular yellow. This will give the yellow a little bit of a glow, so it'll show up nice and bright. Then I outline that with spotty, splotchy black blotches to mimic the camouflage pattern of some of these caterpillars you see. And once that's good, I paint the arm spikes and the leg spikes and the mandibles all black. And then, last, it's one final glaze with a wash of Mod Podge and a little brown. This not only acts as a sealer, but as a little bit of a brown wash. And once that's dry, I position him on his base and put him in his little case, and that's Caterpillar Man all done. On to the beauty shots. Thanks for checking out my video. Please hit like and subscribe to the Dark Nook Monster Shop for more creepy creatures and crafty creations.